Hello and welcome to the War Room. This is Gaku, currently playing the Soviet Union in the Casual Sunday campaign. Not to be confused with the War Room from the creators of Fireproof and Courageous, subtitled Prayer is a Powerful Weapon. For whatever reason, there are spam bots spamming links to this thing in all of my War Room videos now. I'm not sure why, but whatever. Anyway, got a number of things to talk about this time. This campaign's not going to be very easy from here on out, but got a bit of strategy lined up. Talk about the easy stuff, talk about the more difficult stuff, and just the concepts and things to watch out for. First things first, Ottoman Empire has cores all over Bulgaria, or what's left of it, so reintegrating that's not going to be a problem. Greece managed to take southern Bulgaria, which they do not have cores on. But unfortunately, they're ranked number 12, which means that even if they manage to get their core regions here, plus the non-cored region here, everything that's needed in order to form the Byzantine Empire, at present they wouldn't be able to form the Byzantine Empire because that requires that you be a great power. Now, as far as people having cores on the Ottoman Empire, aside from Greece's cores here, Persia has cores there. And I'm probably not going to be defending the Ottoman Empire because propping them up at this point is just a liability. Anyone can join with either Greece or Persia, declare war on the Ottomans, and then if I were to join in, use that as an excuse to wreck me, which I'm just not going to do it. So Ottomans, I'm sorry, but you're kind of on your own at this point. I'll be happy to keep you in my sphere though, so there's that to be said. Persia is a sphereling, and pretty good relations with Persia. I don't foresee any problems there. But let's talk about some of the more important issues. First off, in the short amount of time that I held West Galicia, I did manage to core 2 of these provinces, which means if I happen to win a war against Germany, I can get this whole state back, which would be great. Unfortunately, Germany also has cores on a number of nations around it and a number of states around it. So against Scandinavia, my ally, they have cores here in Schleswig-Holstein. Against Italy, Germany has cores in both eastern and western Switzerland. I don't know how they managed to do that, but they do have a core in western Switzerland. And more unfortunately for me, Germany also has cores in the far eastern Soviet Union, basically in these 3 states, which accounts for at least 2 million pops at this point. A substantial chunk of my population here could just be lost entirely due to gaminess and the fact that Guren had these 3 states way back in the day when he was trying to invade and take over China. So the idiot Russia, whoever that was at the time, decided to let him have it. Now Germany's got cores on it, and Vinchinio Germany can now declare war on me at any time repeatedly, breaking truces, and if I lose, say, a cut down to size, then I'm just completely fucked. So a top priority is defending this border against Germany and making sure that that doesn't happen. Let's move over to the east. Via the forums, I have a formalized defensive alliance between me, Japan, and Guangxi, which means that Japan and Guangxi won't be declaring war on me on Germany's behalf in order to take that land, which is great for me. It also means that if either Guangxi or Japan is attacked, I'll be moving in to help. I have a non-aggression pact with Han China, which means that we're not going to be attacking each other and we're not going to be moving into each other's lands. All formalized treaties involving the UK have been declared null and void due to a new UK player, Aiden, taking over for Chad. So we'll have to wait and see what happens as far as diplomacy with the UK, but as of this moment, they have no formalized alliances with anyone. So you see I've already drawn some arrows here, and this is just what I've talked about with other players and what's likely to happen early on in the session. So Guangxi and Japan are going to be declaring war on Han China, and the goal here is to take South Korea for Japan and annex mainland Han China for Guangxi. Now what I've also drawn out here is likely troop movements if UK decides to join. Now I don't have a NAP against UK, which means that my troops on this border could move in and hold lines against UK and help in those attacks. But obviously I can't come in against Han China, and also they can't come in against me. So I've got a single front here to worry about, and if things become unfavorable along this front, since Persia's on friendly terms with me, we can negotiate some mutual military access, which means I'll be able to funnel troops in through the back. Because I have a defensive alliance with both Japan and Guangxi, it means that all of these troops that I've had here defending the border for, just in case something happened, all these units can come back to the west to defend against Germany. You see, Germany's got a pretty substantial line of professional troops. They've also got tons of artillery that can be backed up by reserve units and mobilized infantry if and when the time comes. So I need a lot of troops to hold this line is what I'm saying. Right now it's a little bit thin. Of course I can collapse the line in a few places to strengthen it, but overall I need a lot more troops. So I'm going to spend probably most of the session, if you're watching it, just looking at the troop building screen and deciding where to move troops and how many. Alright, so once Han China is wiped out, the next target in the east becomes the UK, and this is a target that I can actually help against. So against the UK, the idea is that Japan's going to be looking at Indonesian colonies. China's going to be looking at adjacent colonies, high pop areas in Indochina, and I'll be looking at Pakistan in a limited way, but note that I've got pretty high infamy, so I'm going to be trying to avoid spending infamy on colonies if possible, but of course I will be backing up my allies. So on the forums we have a defensive alliance, but in effect we're also going to have an offensive alliance. The one exception to that is attacks against Han China in isolation. Now what I've outlined here in yellow is the region in which Guangxi has cores. So you notice this area of Sichuan, this is all Guangxi cores, this belongs to the UK, so very easily that can be taken from the UK. I've got this area here, which includes several million Guangxi accepted pops plus their cores. So the idea is this: rather than fighting over it and having a militarized border, we're going to maintain this peace and our defensive alliance, and I'm going to be basically selling Guangxi back its cores. And the way this is going to work is we're going to trade provinces with equivalent numbers of pops. As we expand into the UK, those colonial provinces which are not accepted pops and not cored by Guangxi can be traded to me. Let's say they have 5 million pops in a colonial state here. They'll trade me 5 million pops. I'll trade them 5 million pops worth of provinces, and that's just an example. It doesn't have to be that much because we can trade individual provinces. So whatever happens to be equivalent, that's what we'll be trading. Now note that this is all going to be accepted and it's all going to be cored. So this is actually a lot more valuable for Guangxi than it is for me. So if I get some equivalent pops elsewhere, that's perfectly fine. It's a win-win. Big concern obviously is going to be Germany. If Germany happens to ally with Han China, then depending on alliance chains and whatnot, I might be going up against Germany directly, but more likely that might be an opportunity for me to stay out of the war and just simply not allow Germany to come through and have any effect whatsoever. Aside from my allies Japan and Guangxi, I'm also allied informally with Scandinavia. This is a defensive alliance, but also optionally offensive. So the goal here is to defend them, make sure they don't lose any land to Germany. Scandinavia also should be allied with France and Italy, so we'll try and make sure that happens. Italy also a target for Germany. We are allied, also allied with France. I'm not sure if the current UK is going to make it his mission to take down France as previous UK did, but in any case, France doesn't have very many brigades right now, and they've got a lot of rebuilding to do following their loss of Alsace-Lorraine and Rhineland to Germany in the recent wars. Wild card is Netherlands. They tend to lean towards Germany, but really just an odd sort of role-playing, watch the world burn kind of attitude. So he could come in on Germany's side just to snipe some land from France. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. So watch for defense in this area. I don't foresee any surprises in the south. Obviously the Latin American Union's still trying to eat South America, and American People's Republic is being ineffective in the New World. So yeah, I think that covers just about everything. France in a sort of downward spiral. Hope to catch them from falling any further. Italy needs to be strong to defend against Germany. and we'll see if I can block Germany from making any additional gains. But be aware that there is a potential for Germany to just go total war mode, break truces, impose cut down to size, that sort of thing, and take back every one of its cores and then some. So that's the big risk. So that's about it. Sessions are 1 p.m. Eastern time on Sundays. Other campaigns you might be interested in, the Friday casual campaign is at 7 p.m. Eastern time on Fridays, and the Saturday ranked campaign is at 1 p.m. on Saturdays. If you're interested in joining any of those campaigns, welcome you to do so. All three of these campaigns are open to a greater or lesser extent, although obviously if you're to join this game, you'd be very limited in what countries are available, much less viable because it's so late in the game. Also be aware that this campaign started out with something like 25 players, so many of them have been annexed or quit for various reasons. So looking forward to the session tomorrow. It's not going to be easy. If you're watching my stream or the videos, chances are you'll be watching me manage my troops as before, because Soviet Union's got a lot of troops to manage. Sorry for that, but that's just the way it goes. It's also one of the reasons I'm not generally a fan of the Soviet Union, but what can you do? So thanks for watching, and have a good one.